Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuning in to From Pillar to Post. I am your host, Pete Wall, otherwise known as the Angry Viking. I've been referred to this on Facebook quite often as of late. Tonight, I don't have much to be angry about. We've seen storyline progression. We've seen feuds that we're going to be witnessing ending at WrestleMania or even continuing afterwards. We've seen some good matches. We've seen some bad matches. We've seen a little bit too many promos that could have been held off, in my opinion. I do have a continuing issue with SmackDown and Raw, where they need to constantly break for a commercial, and when they return, they have to play their intro music and theme and title page all over the whole show. It doesn't make sense. We know what we're watching. This is what I don't understand. Back in the day, when you tuned into wrestling, you knew what you were watching. Now, they believe we are so retarded or slow, like we've been eating paint chips since, infancy, that they need to constantly play their intro theme music and video. It doesn't make any sense to me. I would love to see that end, because that is just a lot of time wasted that could be used for something else. In case in point, the tag team match tonight. That could have used a lot more time. I didn't see a point in this match. This was ridiculous. But, I'm getting ahead of myself. Like I said, there was good and bad with this show. And I'm going to do a little comparison. Monday night, we had Raw. And our main event for Raw seemed like a bad rerun or remake of Prison Break, with Braun Strowman playing the hammer of the cell range, and Big Show as the range bitch. And basically, we had at the end of that match Strowman standing tall over Big Show, and time to bend over and take it like a man. That was kind of the deal with Monday night. And tonight, on SmackDown, we had a main event that had a lot going on and progressed storylines and made some rumors that we've been hearing in the community, in the wrestling community, come to light. And yes, things are going to be happening because of this Royal Rumble, or Battle Royal we had tonight. So, that is a huge difference from Monday night to Tuesday night. Huge difference. I don't want to see a match like Braun Strowman and Big Show for a main event, because that is not a main event quality match. They're two big guys, they're slow. We've seen Braun Strowman do phenomenal things in that match. Was it memorable? No. A main event match is supposed to be memorable. It's supposed to be progressive. It's supposed to give the fans an insight to what's coming up in the coming weeks leading up to WrestleMania. And that is the big thing right now. You've got to be building up your show for WrestleMania. Raw doesn't seem to have a care in the world for WrestleMania. They're just looking at their main part-timers. You got Goldberg and Lesnar. And then you've got, whatever they're going to end up doing with Kevin Owens, because we all know Fastlane, he's losing his title to Goldberg. So we're going to see Kevin Owens versus Jericho. There's got to end that. But in one match tonight, we've seen a multitude of storylines opening up and progressing. So, to have someone tell me I've made a bad judgment call or my opinion is wrong, and yes, I had all 5 viewers last night on my show. I don't care. I'm doing this to better myself, and I'm actually enjoying it. I've hit my stride with the show, and things are only going to be looking up from here on out. So I don't give a shit what people have to tell me. But being told my opinion was wrong Monday night last night is bullshit, because you're going to look at a lot of reviews from last night and Raw sucked. Tonight we had a lot of good things happen, some storylines progress. So how about I kick it into gear and get on with the results of the show and some of my thoughts and opinions on what happened. We had the show open up with Daniel Bryan coming down to the ring, and as always, the fans are behind this motherfucker like they should be. The guy's earned his place in the wrestling world. So he comes down, fans are on their feet, they got their arms raised up in the air, chanting yes. And he comes down, he's in the ring, and he introduces the women's champion, the SmackDown women's champion, and calls her down to the ring, as in Naomi. And the way she went down to the ring, I figured, okay, you know what? I can see where this is leading to. And I think everyone in the audience knew tonight as well, and as well as everyone watching, that her title was getting taken away. Now, I don't know if this is storyline or whatever. Obviously, she probably did hurt her knee a lot more than she suspected. And it called for a removal of the title. Daniel Bryan stated that this was the hardest thing he had to do because he had to experience this himself. And it gnawed away at him. He hated it, every moment of it. But he had to do what he had to do. And seeing as her and Shane Daniel Bryan and Shane reviewed her x-rays and doctor's reports, they came to the conclusion that she would not be able to defend her title at WrestleMania. So he apologizes to her and asks her to relinquish the title. And she asks if he could hold on a minute and let her talk. And she thanks Daniel Bryan for the kind words. She knows how he feels because that's what she's feeling right now. Last week, she cried tears of joy, and this week it was tears of sadness. She feels she has let her fans down, and there's a little bit more, but she ends up not being able to finish what she wants to say, and she ends up handing over her title over to Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, he gives her a hug, comforts her. She promises the fans she's going to return, and puts the entire women's locker room on notice and lets them know when she returns, they will all feel her glow. Now, she exits the ring, and she's making her way up the ramp, and Alexa Bliss, in all her bitchiness, comes down and doesn't even really look at her, just stares straight ahead at the ring and just gives her that snobbish, fuck you kind of pass by. Alexa says that it's amazing. But she could have done without the sob story, but loved the ending where Naomi gave up her title. Says for weeks that she's been waiting for her rematch, and it hasn't happened. SD needs a champion for Mania. She has an idea. She thinks Bryan should return the title to her. And the way she talks, she's got the bitch down. She's got that polarizing attitude where, people are going to connect with her, and especially these silver spoon in the mouth bitches that you come across every now and then. She really comes across as one of those. And Bryan turns around and says what he's about to do is harder to do then it is easier to do. Then what he's about to do is harder than it would be easier to just hand the title back to her. She gives Alexa a chance. Says he's going to give her a chance. And that chance is going to happen right now. We get a women's title match to kick off the show. Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people that have a problem with this. I have a little bit of a problem with it too, because these two have faced each other a multitude of times for this title. And I'm also sure that there's going to be a lot of people saying this is the same thing that's happening on Raw. A lot of flip-flopping with the title. It kind of progresses things. And we all knew that Alexa Bliss was going to win this match. I figured it was going to be won by, her breaking the rules somehow. Either, it would be pushed on to next week, or because of a disqualification, or, Mickie James would come down in the ring and cause Becky Lynch to lose. Now, this match started off slow. It was a lot of back and forth near pinfalls. And it wasn't a bad match. These two have met in the ring before. It wasn't too bad. It was slow, though. I personally would have liked to seen a quicker paced match. Not saying the match should have been shorter, but, a lot quicker. These women, they've met each other before, so they know each other's moves. This match should have gone a lot smoother than it did, and it didn't. So, I'm happy Alexa Bliss won it, and she did win it by nefarious tactics. She wins, and this is what doesn't make sense to me about this match. Why did the ref interfere at all when Becky Lynch was pulling Alexa Bliss away from escaping the ring? That didn't make any sense to me. But it caused a distraction. Alexa Bliss was pulling the apron into the ring with her. And Becky Lynch lets go because of the ref, And the ref turns around, he's going to straighten out the apron. And Alexa Bliss lands a double chop to Becky Lynch's throat. Becky Lynch drops. Alexa Bliss gets the 1, 2, 3. She is your new women's heavyweight champion. Or women's champion. I don't know if they actually have heavyweight in that title anymore. But Alexa Bliss is your SmackDown women's champion. Mickie James comes out, congratulates her and everything. And it looks like she's going to leave at first with Alexa Bliss back up the ramp to the locker room. Instead, excuse me, she turns back to the ring and she's staring at Becky Lynch, who's, working the fans a little bit. And she runs down, going to do a sneak attack, gets caught. Becky Lynch quickly, starts doing the kicks and basically kicks her ass out of the ring. And that was the end of this segment. It wasn't bad. It was a way to progress their storyline. We know these women, Mickie James and Becky Lynch, are going to meet down the road, either before Mania or the pre-show. You can see either one of them happening. It's just going to keep on progressing, and we're going to have to wait to see exactly when it's going to conclude. Is it going to conclude at WrestleMania, or is it going to conclude beforehand? We're informed that we're going to see little promos from the competitors in the main event Battle Royal. So we get Ambrose, Kalisto, and The Miz one right after another. And, basically stating that they are planning on winning the Battle Royal and becoming your number one contender for the WWE Heavy World title, or is it Heavyweight title? I can't fucking remember anymore. One of the, the SmackDown Ugly title. Um, we, you know, and then shortly after we get Renee Young interviewing Natalia Neidhart. Um, and we all know they've got a match tonight. They're going to be facing each other in a Falls Count Anywhere. But, and I'm not going to repeat verbatim what was said. Basically, Natalia says Nikki Bella is a fraud and a bad wrestler and will expose her for what she is tonight. You know, it's just progressing the storyline. These two have been at each other's throats for weeks now. And tonight wasn't even the last that we're going to see, but we're going to see this go further. We know we will. These women are showing how much the hatred they have. And I know I'm jumping ahead of myself a little bit, but their match outshined the women's championship match tonight. I'm going to say that right now. What should have been the women's champion should have been the match Nikki and Natalia had tonight. You know, that's the style of... That's the kind of match we should have had for the women's title. My point of view, anyway. Up next, we have American Alpha versus BREEZANGO. And at the outset of this match, I honestly thought that we were going to get a good match. We had BREEZANGO attack American Alpha right off the hop. They cut the ring off from Jason Jordan right away, kept him away from his tag team partner. And it was looking to be like we were going to see a competitive tag team match for once. And we get this snap, you know, it was like blink and bang, all of a sudden the match is over. American Alpha used an old Steiner move, Steiner Brothers finishing move, Sky High, I think they're calling it. And basically it's a electric chair drop turned into a bulldog from the top rope. Match was over. Enter Usos. Usos are in the stadium seats, and they're making their way down to the ring, just running their mouth, you know. They cut a really good promo. I couldn't understand a lot of it because it was really loud, and they were talking really fast and cutting each other off a lot. But I got the gist of what they were saying. And near the end of it, they were saying, you know, we're going to throw down now. And they pull off, one of them pulls off his shirt. It looks like they're going to hop the barrier. And the other one turns around and says, but not tonight. And they run into this little thing where when Alpha goes home, after they, you know, drink their vitamin shake, or protein shake, and shower, and blah, blah. And once they're lying in bed, and they close their eyes to sleep, and they get that feeling that someone's watching them, the hair on the back of their neck is standing on end. It is not paranoia. It's the Usos. It was good, you know. It's progressing their storyline more. You know, and we're going to see this at Mania, I believe. And it's probably going to be a pre-show match. Just like a lot of the tag team matches have been in the past. They need to straighten out the tag team division. Because I'd like to see BREEZANGO disappear. Not the guys themselves, but the name. The name and the stupid gimmick. Both these guys are fantastic wrestlers. They are fantastic entertainers. And if you took away the bad gimmick and let them be more of themselves, I don't know what they're supposed to be. If they're supposed to be faces or heels at this point. I have no fucking clue. I assume that they're supposed to be heels. But the way they're built and the way they're brought up, you might as well call them knuckle dragger and window licker. Because it just doesn't make sense. Yes, the fashion police thing could work, but it wouldn't last, so what's the point? Get rid of the fucking thing. You need to give these tag teams better time, more time. And tonight, it was a waste of time. You know, it made American Alpha look big and strong, but at the same time, it made them look weak, because right from the get-go, they're getting their asses handed to them. And then, in like one blink of the eye, they won the match. It was pointless. We have AJ in the locker, or in backstage, not in the locker room, in backstage, and he gets in some guy's face and asking him and yelling at him if he knows where he's going. And repeatedly, you know, do you know where I'm going? And he yells, I'm going to WrestleMania. And he starts kicking the crates and stuff, and he's all happy. And then we get a promo from Ziggler, Luke Harper, and Mojo Rawley. I was trying to think of why certain members of this match were in here. I know it was to progress some storylines, like with Kalisto and Apollo Crews. But were they warranted this spotlight for a chance to be a number one contender? Up next, we have Renee Young interviewing Nikki Bella, and it's more of the same, you know, just talking trash about Natalya and just gearing up for tonight's match with each other, you know. And right after this, we end up with the Nikki Bella and Natalya match. So I didn't really see a reason for the promo. She could have just come down. And I have to say, I've been noticing from week to week, and someone else commented on Twitter about this, and I seen it in another review a few weeks back. It seems like every other week, Nikki Bella switches her tights for smaller ones. One week they're not as revealing. The next week they're very revealing. You can wonder if she bends over the wrong way, or if her legs are spread open the wrong way, if she's going to be revealing something that she shouldn't be on live television. And tonight was one of those nights. She's wearing a camouflage bikini bottom, and it was very, very short, very revealing. Now, I don't have a problem with this. I don't. I'm just, you know, when the last person commented on this, I hadn't really noticed. I hadn't really paid that much of attention. You always check out the women on wrestling. You know, they're hot. They are in shape. You know, they're great to look at. For the most part. Not all of them, but for the most part, all of them. Like most of them. And tonight was one of those nights where you were wondering if she was going to lose her drawers somewhat. We got both women in the ring. Nikki starts this match off quick with a spear and then, you know, some ground and pound. Natalya escapes, rolls out to the outside. Nikki Bella follows and throws Natalya against the barrier. The barrier was used a lot tonight in this match. A kendo stick was introduced. Let me see where I am. Nikki also introduces a kendo stick and beats Natty up a little bit with it, and then throws Natty into the crowd. Once over that barrier, though, it was like Natty woke up a little bit. She turned the table on Nikki Bella, and they end up on a barrier where there's some electrical supplies and stuff. Just some crap that they always leave laying around the arena on these shows. And Natalya tries a superplex off the barrier. And at first I was thinking, no, I don't think they're going to let this happen with the neck issues Nikki Bella's had. And I was correct. Nikki Bella reversed it. She knocked Natty down off the barrier. And she performs this enziguri type kick off the top of the barrier to the back of Natalya's head. A very good move. You know, it did the job. She went for a pin. She got a 2 fall, or a 2 count, very near fall. Um, and the fight progresses. Natty takes back over. She ends up with a kendo stick, but she throws it away. And proceeds to clear off the announce table. Now, we all know Natalya's a strong woman, and what came next was a little bit odd for me, but Nikki fights back. The table doesn't get used yet. Both end up back in the ring, and Nikki ends up on the apron, and Natalya, she's trying to pull her off in a powerbomb position. She's under her. She's pulling, trying to free Nikki's hands off the ropes, and she does manage this. And now she walks over to the announce table, and she's ready to do the power bomb. Nikki starts scrambling. She starts punching in the head, Natalya in the head, and ends up with both of them on the ground. Now, it looked like Natalya whacked her head on one of the monitors. I'm not exactly sure. I missed some of it. But to me, that's what it looked like. Nikki follows this all up with an Alabama slammer on top of the table. Now, the table doesn't break. So she climbs up on the table and gets a near fall once again. We end up with a commercial break. And when we come back, Natty has the sharpshooter locked on Nikki. And we've seen this happen before. Nikki manages to reverse it and locks in the Fearless Lock. I believe that's what I heard it was called tonight. And you think, okay, it's done. Natalya's gonna tap out because that's what's happened lately. We have Maurice come down because earlier when they were backstage, Nikki Bella was thrown into Maurice, and so Maurice is all pissed off. She comes down to the ring with what looked like a plastic pipe. Now later on, the announcers or the commentators stated that it was a lead pipe, but I was watching. It was completely white, and it looked like what you would use for a water pipe, one of those PVC pipes. And she proceeded to beat the shit out of Nikki Bella with this pipe. Now we had the Miz run down, and we've seen her grab his wife by the waist and carry her off backstage. And we also seen Amir get used backstage too. This is right after the whole Maurice issue, and I kind of skipped some of my notes, so this is why I'm a little bit behind. But we've seen Natalya eat a fucking mirror, so this match was pretty good. And after the beatdown with the pipe, we have Natalya picking up the win. She quickly goes for the cover. Natalya wins. So this is just going to progress in the weeks, but it's also going to progress something else. And we're going to see this at, excuse me, during the main event. Now we have Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews. They do their promo for tonight's main event. And honestly, I missed a lot of what they had to say. And I didn't really see it was that much of an importance to actually jot down some of what they said. Everyone knows they're gearing up for tonight's main event. They're going to promote themselves. They're going to state their cause and their reason why they're going to be number one contender heading into Mania. Bray Wyatt comes in after this. There's a little segment with Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. And Randy Orton's quiet. And Bray's telling Randy that he's earned the keys to the kingdom. And this last part I missed because my son came home from work. So I was more interested in seeing how his day was at work. But I'm assuming he gives the competitors of tonight's Battle Royal a warning. It's a kind of obvious thing. And then that leads us into our battle royal. And I was a little bit shocked because when I looked at the time, it was 9:21. So I assumed this was going to be a really short battle royal. You know, everything was going to happen quick. Then a little bit of time for the last two combatants. But it started at a little after 9:20. And we've seen a really good match. We've seen a match, like I said at the beginning, it progressed storylines. You know, and we had John Cena come out first. He was the first one to make his way down to the ring for this match. And then, obviously, we break for another commercial. And I'm going to take a sip of coffee here. Because what happens next was fucking phenomenal. It was the way that tonight's match should have gone. When we come back from commercial, most of the guys are already at ringside. We get Baron Corbin, Luke Harper, and The Miz, followed by AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose to make their way down. And when Ambrose hits the ring, the first person he sees is Baron Corbin, and he just beelines it straight over to Baron Corbin. Those two lock up. They're going fist to fist. And it breaks down into a big brawl, like a battle royal always does. Now, we've seen Dolph Ziggler super kick John Cena, and this was like not that far into the match. But we've seen Ziggler clip Cena with a super kick. And then we had Ziggler and AJ Styles working together for a short term, trying to eliminate John Cena right off the hop, get rid of him quick, and better their chances for the outcome. And for some reason, I guess AJ realized it's not going to happen. So he turned on Ziggler and tried to eliminate both of them at the same time by tossing Ziggler over the top rope. Now, both men held on. They got back in the ring. And, let's see. Yeah, okay, we had both of them save themselves. Corbin goes after everyone in his path. You know, he didn't pick and choose who he was just going to like pick on. You know, he wasn't just going to take one wrestler and just brutalize them and then get rid of them. No, he was aiming for everyone in this match. Ziggler, he spent there for a bit. He spent most of his time on the apron as well. You know, he was getting thrown over the top and just barely holding on. And playing up the heel tactic, you know, just taking his little breaks out on the apron and then come back in. Ambrose and Cruz, they worked together a bit, and they were trying to throw AJ Styles out for a minute, and then turned around and it was Ziggler. And then we seen Cena attempt a double A on Corbin, but for some reason couldn't hold him up, and he ended up face planting right into the mat with Corbin's full weight right on his neck. So it had to have hurt him, you know. You could see it didn't break his nose. There's no blood or anything, but it fucking hurt his face, and everyone likes it when Cena gets his face a little bit hurt. We end up with another commercial break, and then we come back, and Corbin is the only man standing. And from behind, Mojo Rawley comes at him. And those two go at it for a little bit, and Rawley charges at Corbin in the corner, ready to clothesline him. Corbin just jauntily throws him over the top rope, and Mojo Rawley is your first elimination. Kalisto, I kind of missed this part, but I don't know how Kalisto all of a sudden started going roughshod over everyone, but he had a couple of, you know, good moves in on his opponents. He goes off on everyone, has a botch moment with Ambrose. He's trying to, he tried to do a top rope move, I think it was, and the way they fell, it was like Ambrose tried to do a different move, you know, reverse the move that was done to him, but both fell very sloppily. You could see that it wasn't intentional. So it was a botch moment in the match. And, let's see, where we go. See, this is a hard thing with this match. It was so much went on, you know, so you got to kind of keep track. Oh yeah, they had a botch moment before Ambrose went after Ziggler. Or I mean, Kalisto went off on Ziggler. And they end up on the apron. They're fighting back and forth on the apron. And Ziggler hits Kalisto with a super kick. Knocks this little fuck right off the apron. And Cruz right away eliminates Dolph Ziggler. Now Ziggler, he goes to the same tactics he's been using against Apollo Crews and Kalisto the last few weeks. And he goes for a steel chair. And he's threatening to beat Kalisto with the steel chair. And Corbin comes up behind Apollo Crews and just throws him over the top rope. Now, this fueled another storyline with Apollo Crews and Dolph Ziggler and Kalisto. These three have been at each other lately. And Ziggler's been one-upping on these guys with the steel chair shots constantly after matches. No matter if he wins or loses, he's using a steel chair on these guys. And he brutalized Apollo Crews the last time these two met. So this continued and progressed their storyline as well. So we had Crews get the chair away from Ziggler and then chase Ziggler from ringside with the chair. I believe there's another commercial at this point, and we come back, and the Miz is, yes, there's a commercial break, as there always is on these high spots. We come back, Miz is the only one standing. We've got 4 guys in the corner, we've got some guys on the floor, and he does the Daniel Bryan-esque drop kicks, but this time with a twist. There's 4 guys in the corner, and he nails each of them with the running drop kick. Now, he's ready to give... Well, he lands the yes kicks. He starts doing the yes kicks to John Cena. John Cena's on his knees. And like always, we see him going for the head kick to finish it off. And as always, we see him fail. So, Cena ducks it. And eliminates The Miz after ducking the head kick. Now, as soon as this happened, I figured, okay, you know what? This is leading up to the build in the intergender tag team match that supposedly is going to happen at WrestleMania between John Cena and Nikki versus The Miz and Maurice. And this is going to, you know, kind of be proven to be fact near the end of this match. We come back from commercial, and Ambrose and AJ are going at it. And they're locking up. Ambrose is behind AJ Styles, and he's ready to deliver at least what I believe is a German suplex. Cena joins in and grabs Ambrose and delivers a double German suplex. He attempts a 5-knuckle shuffle. And Corbin hits the end of days. And I love this move. And I love it when it's done to John Cena. And Cena gets eliminated. Oh, I'm sorry. No. Gets the end of days. Ambrose comes up behind Corbin and eliminates Corbin. So another progression. And Corbin pulls Ambrose out of the ring from underneath, you know, the bottom rope. He pulls him out, hits the end of days, and walks off. You know, so we weren't sure if we were going to see Ambrose in this match again because he was out. You know, he got the end of days. He looked done, and even the announcers or commentators were speculating if he was going to be able to continue or not. Okay. Now, I'm not sure how this happened, but The Miz ends up being able to throw John Cena out. Now, John Cena, Miz came out of nowhere. That's one thing, Come out of nowhere and threw Cena out. I'm sorry if I paused every now and then. I kind of lost where I was. And he eliminates John Cena. Now, John Cena chases Miz back in the ring. Miz bolts out the other side. And the refs are all surrounding John Cena and letting him know he's done. He's out. He was eliminated. And he's dumbfounded. Why am I eliminated? Miz was already eliminated, so it shouldn't count.